All right, good people. It's your man EG with the EG My Journey podcast. One more again. We got another hot guest in the building. Yeah, it's my peoples. I'll let you know in just a second. So keep it locked right here. Yep, you know it. One more time, we in the building. Studio action right here. Look, I got a new name for the studio. It's Village Studios. How you like that? But today I got my people in the building. My sister from another mister and from another mother, all of that. And we gonna highlight what she has going on today because it's a true journey, a journey that I believe will bless your life because there's some things that we need to know. People that don't know just need to know, and it is Miss Courtney Roy.
Hola.
Hola, hola, hola. What?
Hola, eh. Roll.
She going in on us, you dig? So look, we just went through this whole little thing before. Like, are we gonna do this and we gonna do that? And man, look, y'all know how we do it. We run off the dome, run off the dump because we just wanted to be transparent. We wanted to be real and live and in effect, you know. So, what's happening with you?
Nothing much, just busy as always. Your favorite Jamaican.
In the building. And you know what? She is right. She got like 37 businesses. You know what I'm saying? You have Fitty them things. You got what is Able Life, what?
Act Home Healthcare.
Right, go ahead.
Heartfelt Training Services.
And
my baby, DBA Business Center.
DBA Business Center. We're gonna get more in depth about DBA throughout this podcast on today. But look, tell me a little bit about you. Not necessarily what you got going on, because we're gonna get to that in a second, but tell me about Courtney.
I am a nurse by trade.
Word up.
I'm a mother, a woman of God, a servant leader.
Well, now.
I'm me, Courtney Roy.
There you go. She is her, not the singer. Please believe me, not the singer.
Courtney Roy.
Courtney Roy. So, I mean, she has tons of things going on. We named off a few businesses, and that's just to name some of the things that she does on a daily basis, weekly, monthly, whatever. Because she is very active in our community and really has a heart for people. And this is what I know. I've been knowing Courtney for, I can't even give you a time, to be honest with you. I think we were kids.
30.
35.
35.
Yeah, about 35 plus.
Yeah, 35.
Yeah, because we were probably middle school, elementary.
Middle school.
Yeah, middle school. Is that when you came here?
You was at Gretna Junior High.
What? Yes, I was. You heard me. Gretna Junior High. You heard me. That was in the 80s. You heard me. Ooh, I just told all my age. Huh?
The tornadoes or somebody. What?
The tornadoes, you better believe it. And you know who the first female and first black principal was, right?
Who?
My wife, Mika. What you talking?
Oh, I thought you was about to say Dr. Bias.
I'm sorry, yo. Shout out to Clara T.
Hey, Miss Clara, Ruby Red.
Ruby Red. We were just talking, me and my sister and I, Marlo and I were just talking about Dr. Bias, man, and all that she's done for our community.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, how impactful that she's been for many, 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 many years. So
great demonstration.
Extremely a phenomenal demonstration. Kind of remind me of my uncle, man, and his demonstration of life and for people. Uncle Stanley.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, that's like I mentioned him because he's like a father.
Father to me.
Yeah, to Courtney, and he's probably one of my favorite uncles. Not probably, but is. And every chance I get to tell him, I tell him that because it's real and it's true. You know, this guy is the same person no matter what.
He has been
forever, has been the same person. When he see you, he gonna give every bit of love to you that he has in the classroom, outside the classroom, in the church, because he's at everybody's funeral.
And he keeps the program.
And he keep them, all of them. Keep the programs, and he keeps.
And he spell checks them, and
yes, he does, because he is a consummate English teacher. I had him at West Jeff, and it was probably the worst experience I had as a student ever. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because he did not let me I couldn't be second rate. You know what I'm saying? And on other teachers I could probably get over some, but Uncle Stanley, it was not. And he held us, his family, myself, Tammy, his daughter, uh my brother Damon, he held us all to a standard. And he
Absolutely.
like, y'all are
Me
bigger.
and my sister.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was hard on us growing up, but now we understand why.
Absolutely.
And it
paid
wasn't
off.
just from a spiritual, it was educational,
Yeah.
physical. We used to have to drink those juices,
Yeah.
that apple and celery juice and all, things
And that
like
was-
that, not realizing.
And that was way before anybody we
80s.
knew.
80s.
Yeah, that was he was doing green juices way back in the day, keeping it together. And I mean, he looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, what he's 90s, huh?
87, 88.
87. Okay.
87.
Okay. So he close. He is close. So anyway, getting off of that and getting on topic.
Yes.
So you did the beginning of your time. I know you came from Xavier Prep, which I call it a HBHS.
Okay.
You dig what I'm saying? I just coined that.
That's new.
I just coined that.
That's
Historically
new.
Black high schools. You dig?
Proud prepper.
Well, proud prepper. And I don't know, what do they call it? I know it's Drexel something. Catherine Drexel or something.
I don't know. I went to prep.
There you go. That's what I say too. That's when anytime somebody can say that, I say that's prep. And then on to Langston University. In Oklahoma.
A real HBCU.
A real life HBCU. You know how you know a real HBCU? Because they're in the middle of nowhere.
And it was.
Yeah, because you're going to get this education.
Grocery store was 20 miles up.
You're going to get this education and you ain't got nothing else around to take your attention.
But the goats.
The goats.
The goats.
Man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a large history, huge history at Langston University. A couple of people that went there. And then from there, you came home and what did you do? Went to UNO, right?
Went to UNO.
And then Delgado
Charity,
School of Nursing. Well, charity, which was facilitated through Delgado School of Nursing, which is actually, I don't know where it ranks now. It was probably the best in the state at that time.
I'm a bit biased. I would say it is still the best.
Well, now, okay. Well, no, it's because from what I understand, again, it's very concentrated in the field of nursing.
Correct.
Yeah, the curriculum and education in itself is extremely concentrated. And then from there, you jumped into, how long did you practice?
I've been practicing 23 years.
23.
Don't tell nobody.
I'm not going to say nothing.
Don't tell nobody.
I ain't going to say a word. But did you work in hospitals or anything like that?
Yeah. Didn't have to, but it's something I chose just to better myself and hone my craft.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of pool nursing throughout the city, just making sure that I was able to offer top-notch nursing to my home health patients,
Man.
And make sure that my nurses were staying on task.
Is there a way that you can teach that somewhere? Because it's a different animal now. And listen, there ain't no shot to all of you great nurses. It's no shot to you. But if you are a consummate listener and or looker at this podcast, in my hospital stay, I talk about it all the time. I had some very, very questionable situations as it relates to the care of nurses. And I just can go back in the day. I never went to the hospital before, but I could always see the care and the heart that nurses carry, even outside of their jobs, but I can say the same thing about education,
right?
And teachers, because we just talked about Uncle Stanley and the care that they took, and Clara Dr. Bias, the care that they took for their craft was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it is a rarity. I mean, these days for any occupation at this point, it's any occupation. We've grown into this microwave society,
right?
And that's what everybody's giving, subpar. It's okay to be subpar.
Man.
It's okay to be mediocre.
Yeah, and I wish there was a magic pill, but of course there isn't. So part of my question is could I don't know. It's not a question really. Part of my statement is, I think somebody needs to take that extra care, and maybe in these curriculums, and I don't know what the curriculums are, but doing something a little extra. Again, I know some of the things in the educational system that I would love to see happen. So being a patient for, I'd say a long time, but a short time, 33 days, under care. I think I could see some things like bedside manner.
Those things can be taught.
y-
Those are
I,
embedded.
I
You know,
know, I know.
you can't teach true the essence of nursing.
Yeah.
You can't teach that. That's not textbook. That comes straight from the heart.
So why do you think these people go into nursing or go into whatever professions? Like, again, I keep going back to education because it's the thing that's closest to me. Why do they keep going back to those things? Is it because at a degree they think it's easy, or because it's such in demand that they can get jobs? I know, again, I'm going to education of what I know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you why I know education, because I live with a consummate educator. My wife
Mm-hmm.
is the consummate educator. She loves it,
Mm-hmm.
and she is phenomenal at what she does. But I've had the opportunity to see over her time in education, which is 20 plus years, um, some of the woes.
Right.
I've seen the woes,
Mm-hmm.
and one thing I always say, back in the day, I can say this, that teachers became teachers because they loved it,
Right.
because they actually went to school for it.
Right.
But now teachers, and I believe nurses as well. I think sometimes nurses, and this is me just stepping out. I don't know if this is the truth. They go into it because it seems like, or it feels like, okay, I can make money.
Oh, it is definitely.
Yeah. So and then
Definitely.
and then all I got to do is do the work
Mm-hmm.
in at college,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever university you attend, and then I can step out, because I know for a fact that there's a huge nursing shortage right now.
Serious nursing shortage.
So I mean, you can get out and make
Nice
a
money.
great living,
You can basically name your salary at this point.
but it shows in
Exactly.
the work ethic.
Well, a lot of that work ethic, it depends. It's the administration
Yeah,
plays a part in the work ethic.
yeah,
The nurse burnout plays a part
yeah,
in that, and so of course hospitals and all are big business.
yeah,
Also, they're making their profit margins are huge.
yeah.
So they're not putting a lot into their company culture and the morale.
And that's
It's
huge.
yeah.
Which that right there, you said a mouthful
Mhm.
when you said company culture.
Mhm.
Culture is everything in any business, in any
Exactly.
company. If you're not building a healthy, or well-groomed culture, you can prepare to lose. And the reason I say lose, you can be very successful, but you're going to lose because your turnover is going to be
Exactly.
astronomical.
Exactly.
And again, that's what we're finding in education,
Mhm.
right? You have these teachers that come in, they were business students, or they were chemistry or science, and
Mhm.
their intention was never to teach, yet they can come out to any school system and obtain a job, and they teach. Don't get me to talking about Teach for America.
I was about to say to have their student loans taken care
And
of.
all they have to do is 2 years,
Right.
and all their student loans, and they don't care. All
Right.
they're trying to do is follow these metrics
Mhm.
and get these metrics done, and they bouncing.
Well, the whole education system. That's a whole another podcast. The
Yeah, and
education system as a whole is just
we
kind of
we and I
jacked up.
actually have somebody that I'm really pull in, my little brother, Kevin Griffin, and he's somebody that can really speak. He's an activist here in the New Orleans area.
Mhm.
Um, and maybe Dr. Ashanta Wyatt. I may pull
Mhm.
both of them in together
Very good. Very
because
good.
they are, like I said in the podcast with Pastor Jonathan Everett,
Mhm.
they'll stand on the top of the Superdome and fight
Right.
with gloves on, gloves,
Behind the
guns,
kids.
behind these kids.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And I'm at a position right now that in my place, in my parish, that I'm very, very uneasy with the way things are going in our parish.
As you should.
And I think we should have more accountability. I don't think we should have more accountability.
Responsibility.
That's perfect. And
Responsibility.
not people bidding for position in order to be in position.
Right.
If you don't care, stay your tail in the place that you are.
Yeah, it's more about the money and the power.
Yeah, but I need you to stand up for these kids. Stand up for the schools, and in doing that, you have to stand up for the communities that surround them.
You said something. Politics does not involve community.
And but it should.
It should.
Right.
But today's politics does not involve community. And I mean that as the verb and the noun.
Yeah. And that's a sad case because it'll have you at to me, it has me gagging. And I just, I used to be in a place where I would say, well, that's not my fight. Right. And I find myself wanting to fight more and more as I get older and as I see, and my kids are finished.
Right.
Right. My daughter is in her last year. She has one class.
Right.
But it's just for the other kids. I still have heart for all these other kids in these other communities that we're missing. I mean, we're missing so much. Mm-hmm. So much. Anyway.
But if not, what's the verbiage? If not you, then who?
Then who?
Be the change. Huh?
Be the change. And I pledge now to you, and this is off the cuff, that I will use my platform to step in and be a portion of that change.
I appreciate that. We appreciate that.
I have to.
The community appreciates that.
And because number one, God is number one been too good, right? And I've been blessed beyond measure. Some would say I shouldn't have walked out of that hospital a little bit over a year ago. But God. And I believe wholeheartedly, I don't believe, I know wholeheartedly that I came out with mission.
Exactly.
I came out with a mission and a status to be able to jump out. And God, I believe God's pouring things on me so I can be a voice to people. I never wanted to be in front of a camera.
Right.
Never, ever wanted to be in front of a camera. Okay. But she here. But, but I find it to be so important to be in front of this camera.
Right.
Because it will provide more and more of a voice, not only in this city, but around the country. So with that said, I pledge right now, and I'm gonna say it right here, face to you, to all you people that's looking at me right now. My pledge is that you will see me more communally and not just school system, because there's a whole community out, and I'm talking about my community. My community is Jefferson Parish, New Orleans metropolitan area. That's where I'll start. I'll start there, and then wherever God takes me, then I'll go there. Anyway, let me jump back and let's get on task, because that's not what we came here for. But like I always say, I really want to be candid about this show. I want to be very transparent, and these are the things. If it comes up, it comes out, and that's what we're gonna run with. And go ahead.
But if you notice, I mean, most of our conversations, if we have conversation at length, it goes toward that. Always goes toward serving. It goes toward community. So it's just like, it's a given.
It makes sense. It makes perfect sense, because serving is what we both do. Being servants, and sometimes you got to take away from being a servant to being a servant leader. And being a servant leader has cause for some objective things that ultimately may become subject to other things.
Right.
But we came here today. To not just to highlight, but to give folk an idea of how to start, move, and progress in their own vision, in their own path. And I think all of that works. All of that, everything we just talked about, it works. It coincides because it's a part of a vision. And the vision is whatever it might be, but we're giving steps on how to get there, or even how to formulate thoughts into whatever your vision is.
Whatever your vision.
Yeah, whatever that is. So for you, I I first heard about, and you tell me, you of course you know better than I do. I first heard about Acts. I've been knowing about Acts for many, many, many years. But what was your first jump into business? The business side of what you do, of the nursing and all that, because I know that's where it started.
Well, my mom started Acts in '92. I was a
Okay.
I was a junior in high school.
Yeah, because I was seeing.
Yeah, I was a junior in high school. Um, not understanding what she was doing.
Yeah.
Could care less.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we were young and dumb at that time.
Young and dumb, running the streets,
right.
And just being a teenager.
Right.
And then I left. Once I graduated from prep, I left and went to Langston. I came home once she got sick, and at that point, she just started pouring into me everything she knew about business.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and probably what 3 years? No, not that long ago. Probably 2 years after that, she passed away.
Oh, really? Okay.
And it was like,
there you go.
Take this.
This is what God told me.
This for you.
Hand the tablets to you. You were Moses.
21 years old.
Come on, man.
New baby, new husband.
Here
you go. I was going to school for engineering at the time.
Really?
But God. That's a but God.
I didn't know that.
I was going to school I was running from nursing.
Yeah.
Everybody in my family was nurses. I did not want to be a nurse.
Yeah.
I always wanted to go against the grain. But God.
Yeah, but God.
So basically, I was a 21-year-old administrator. Eventually, my brothers came in to help with the business.
Okay.
They were older than I was, but still, I was the youngest employer. Of course, all of my employees were older than I was.
Right, of course. 21? Man,
yeah.
Come on.
They were coming in and telling me different things about nursing. And I was like, I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're saying.
Wait a minute. So you were in the business before you went to nursing school? Oh, I didn't know that.
That's what led me to nursing school.
Oh, wow.
So I say that, but God.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So in a haste, I applied to charity. Back then, they had the 2-year waiting list.
Right.
Someone mentioned to me, why don't you go to the VOTEC? I said, okay, I'll go to the VOTEC. Still reluctant to do nursing.
Yeah.
I was just reluctant to do nursing. So I went and took the test, the entrance test, and left it alone.
Yeah.
Was like, okay, did that. Still going to UNO. The last day before class started, one of the administrators called and said, hey, Courtney Roy, we've been trying to get in touch with you. Class starts tomorrow. You pass your test. Be here at 8:00.
Oh, wow. Like that.
The day before. Day before. So needless to say.
And that was at VOTEC?
That was at VOTEC.
Okay.
Needless to say, I went to the VOTEC.
Yeah.
I graduated a year and a half later. A year and a half after that, got into charity, did their bridge program, became a nurse, RN.
Well, now. Okay. And so that being your first run, but you were still running the business as well.
Still running the business full time, both runs.
But you finished with UNO at that time. You had left UNO alone.
I left UNO.
Okay, gotcha.
Went over to the VOTEC.
Because you've been a Jamaican then.
Yeah.
You've been getting.
Yeah.
And so when did Able Life come about?
Able Life actually started. My brother and I had come up with the concept. We wanted. We had a lot of home health patients. Home health is temporary.
Yeah.
And so we had patients that were still needing services after home health ended. And so it was like, let's start this personal care service.
Okay.
It's like a waiver, Medicaid waiver, sitting services per se.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So that happened. ACTS was started in 92 with my mom. Able Life was started in 1999.
Okay. So you got Able Life. I mean, you have ACTS, Able Life. And so we'll move on to the next one. The next one was, I just remember, let me tell you, I remember getting a phone call saying, hey, I need this. What do you need? I need a logo. I need a flyer. I need this. And again, y'all know I'm a graphic designer. And I'm like, okay. So I'm starting to design. And then heartfelt training services came about. And that's CPR and
first aid, CPR, health education classes. Yeah.
Bumba
Clock.
Yeah, she out here. So and how often do you do? I know you. It's classes every so often.
Yeah, I used to teach a weekly class. Now I have my brother teaching a weekly class, but I still do the large groups and all of the classes in the community.
What brother is that?
That's Steven, Mannequin Black.
Mannequin Black, my guy. Big shout out to Steven in this piece.
Yes.
Y'all need to go and support it. It's Mannequin Black. Does he have a website, you know?
mannequinblack.com.
We're gonna put
the truth, become the truth.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put some of his information on here because I really love to support him. He's gonna be on the show. He ain't said he was gonna be on here yet.
We saying
it. I need him because I need you guys to hear his journey. He has an amazing,
phenomenal,
amazing journey
very impressive.
Turmoil to greatness. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that not just young men need to hear, but all human beings, I believe. So just keep your eyes out for that. Just go ahead and subscribe, and hit the bell notification right now, so you can know when it's happening. So now, we get to DBA, the baby.
The baby.
It's the baby, and it is the. I don't know. This is the one you coddling.
Coddling. Because now I realize it's a spiritual thing.
Yeah, I'd agree.
It's a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
Didn't understand it at first. So now that I understand it, it's like, okay, God, I see you.
Yeah.
I'm always having but God moments. Even with CPR.
Yeah.
Even with heartfelt, that was a but God moment.
Right.
Me saying what I would not do. And God said, I'm gonna show you.
I'm gonna show you, partner.
I'm gonna show you. And when I started DBA, I was in that mode.
Yeah.
You know, the middle of COVID. Of course, home health chaotic.
Yeah.
Healthcare chaotic.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, nurses getting COVID, patients getting COVID, everybody getting COVID, me trying to stay healthy so that I don't get COVID. And in the middle of it, out of nowhere, I visited before wanting to start a business for my sons, so that I could leave a legacy.
Absolutely.
You know, so that I could leave something.
Absolutely.
Like my mom left me. You know, I've never had to work for anyone else.
Right.
In 30 years.
Right. You just chose.
I chose to.
Right.
But I've never had to. And
that's huge, man. That's huge.
And so
and that's huge for the kids too.
That is.
Not just the kids, for the entire family.
Entire family.
You know, because
everybody.
I'm gonna tell you, the blessing is that this family eats off the work of its mother. You know, and it's very, very impressive. I've been impressed for a long time. Because when I say
are blessed, your children's children are blessed.
That's it. That's word.
We there.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you know, you have those but God moments. It is, I mean, I declare that it is only gonna get bigger and better because it's our season. And I've been telling people this, you know, people have been coming to me as of late, just giving me just spectacular news. Outside of my own spectacular news. And only thing I can say is it's our season.
It's our season.
And I believe that, you know, it's not just people that connected to me. I'm not gonna be that vain. But it's people that are connected to me that are being blessed. And it's not that they're necessarily connected to me, but that we're in that web.
But God is allowing you to see the manifest.
Yeah.
So
I'm like sitting on a hill looking like, and I'm smiling because I know what's happening for me. You know, and which is absolutely nuts. And again, I won't tell you. I'm gonna show you, and it's coming very, very soon. It's actually in the works at the moment. Other than the podcast and and business in itself, but it is phenomenal state. Another thing I see with what's going on in your world is, you know, you started DBA, which is a print. Uh, what would you title it? A print service or
Business center.
business center, right? So one of the things that I did was I went to DBA to get my business registered. So that's something you can do, and that's kind of what we want to highlight. I would love to highlight that anything you need, if you have a business, if you have something in mind, or if you've already started and you're looking for your legalities or your LLCs or what have you, DBA is the place that you can go to get all of the things that you need done,
Right.
as well as to print your documents, as well as to ship your documents,
Yes.
as well as to utilize the shared office housing and space, as well as mailbox services. Just it's an abundance of things that we need.
Right.
It is, to me, it is Office Depot plus.
Office Depot plus.
Because Office Depot don't have no offices for you.
Plus.
They ain't got nothing for you but the come in, pay me, leave.
Right.
DBA is a place that you can go and get what you need. You need
with
to
smile,
with a smile and a great
conversation,
and for us, it makes you feel good because you see yourself.
Right.
And I'm not just speaking as a melanated person, but I'm speaking as a the range of ages that are in there that's showing that same amount of love,
hard worker
and attention.
The hard worker,
the people that
small business owner.
Absolutely, it is catered just for you. And it's important, I think, to do business with those that are like you.
Well, thank you.
That look like you. Yeah, without a doubt. So we need to really, really highlight that facet of what that is. So when you were getting into that, I know that's one of those moments. You said in COVID, you got the idea, bling, ding, hey, this is what I want to do. I could have done better than that, but don't worry about that. Don't worry about my sound effects.
That was your bling.
Yeah, I got a sound effect for that, but I decided to make it myself.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. All right, Dougie Fresh.
Well, I just anyway.
Police Academy.
Yeah, I don't stop. So, what were the steps? Like, what did you do? Because, so let me say, I know this wasn't your world.
No,
it wasn't your world, and I think
you were the printer,
right? I was a printer, the designer, and all that kind of stuff. By the way,
He's still the designer.
Lord, I can't go in the building without saying, "Look, get back there and design something." And I appreciate.
Supposed to do.
I appreciate it and I love it because I love my
village, the village studio. It takes a village.
It's a village. Yeah. It's on my head right here. Yeah, and we got village merch. Don't worry about that right now. Knowing what you had not gone through, but what you needed in business as far as business servicing, is that some of what brought you to the place of DBA, other than the vision that God gave you?
What brought me to the place? Probably over the years, the last 20 years or so.
Yeah.
Having friends and family that needed business services,
Yeah.
They were coming, can you help me file my paperwork with the state? Sure. Can you show me how to do my sales tax report? Sure. Those different things. So I was already well versed in those things, and then like I said, wanting to start something for my boys, it was just like, okay, I don't know anything about copying and printing, but I know for the last few decades,
right,
I've been copying stuff and I've been printing stuff and I've been faxing
and
stuff.
Paying people to do it.
Right. And so now I, love learning. So I figure I could teach myself how to do the other stuff. Yeah. And that's basically what has happened.
I got to say, for a person who's been in that business for probably about, I think right now, I got in 92, so it's right at 30 years. I started designing, and I think the print side it's been probably 25 plus, something like that. I don't miss it.
You don't?
No, not that side.
Right.
Not the side. So I was just saying that. Thank you. Thank you for feeling that need.
Yeah, I think I just get a different. I'm getting a different journey from it.
Well, yeah,
I'm getting a different journey.
It's like going to a second career.
Yeah,
and you do something for so long, it's like something else comes along and it feels fresh, and you got a newfound love for it.
Just the service part of it.
Yeah,
being able to give people what they're looking for, or not, educating people.
Yeah.
Going back to the beginning, I was at a point where during COVID that I didn't like people. I didn't like people.
Well,
I was
you preaching to the choir.
I was at a point where I would go home, after work, and I would isolate myself from everybody. And I would do people when I had to do people.
Hence the voicemail. A voicemail says, "Hey, how you doing? I prefer a text." I'll never text. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna hang up and call right back. But I get it, and I think that's and I'm glad you said that, because that's one of the things that I believe that God shut the world down for, to give everybody that kind of break, because we needed it. It was a complete reset, right?
Yeah.
And we're not, it's not was because we're still in the reset. Because I had gotten to that place where I had told a few people that look, no new friends. I don't want nobody. I went to Drake's song. No new. I don't want to talk. And I'm a person that when you call me, I'm gonna pick up the phone. If you text me, I'm gonna call you. I'm a person that wanted that personable. Right. But it got to the point to where I was burned completely out. I mean, when I say burned out, and my burnout was with people.
Right.
And it was because, and I think for me, it was because of my serving nature.
Right.
Right. Because I was always serving and feeding folk and never eating.
I think
everybody was a taker.
Mine was more so because of I'm used to fixing things.
Yeah.
And I could not fix it.
Gotcha.
I could not fix.
Yeah, you couldn't fix that.
I could tell people, I give them the grocery list of things to do to prevent COVID. And, I'm sending out texts all the time and sending out emails and then I would feel almost defeated when I would learn somebody had COVID.
Yeah.
And it's like,
But I told you what to do.
Yeah, I can't fix it.
Yeah. Because
they're suffering, they're suffering through it. And I'm telling them everything they need to do, and it's still not working. And then they say, "Oh, I have to go to the hospital," and I'm just feeling defeated. So it really played with my psyche. But then it reminded me that it ain't me.
Right.
It ain't got nothing to do with me.
It was like the revelation I got in the hospital. The time when I was fighting with God, when I was fussing and arguing with God, and then I was quickened in God, and I said, "You know what? This ain't even my business. It's God's business." And when you release the fact that the business is God's and it's not yours, then there's a true place of growth.
Absolutely.
You can really get to another or a better level within yourself. Because outside of that, fam, you a loser.
Right.
Like real talk, you are a loser, because we're creatures of habit, and most of us don't want to change.
Right. And that's exactly what it was. I mean, even 6 months before COVID, I had gone through a life-changing situation. And then 6 months later, COVID happened.
Yeah.
So he was just letting me know.
Right.
Sit down.
Exactly. Chill out.
Sit down.
Chill out. And the blessed part about COVID was, and if people hear me say that, they'd be like, "Well, nothing was a blessing." plenty of things were a blessing.
Everything was a blessing.
And we have to look at that. You got to take, especially if you're still here. If you're still here, know that you are special and that you were called to be here.
Count it all joy, he said.
That's to be able to suffer. That's what it says, to be able to suffer in diverse temptation. Count it all joy. And that's when he was talking to, and I'm not going to get on my Bible soapbox, but that's when Paul was talking to the Galatians and they had him in prison. He was behind bars and suffering daily. He was being beaten. 39 lashes he would get daily because it was against the law to beat him 40 times because it said 40 less than one. And he said, I count it all joy. And even when the jail, the gates of the jail and the walls of the jail had fallen down and he didn't budge, they didn't understand. But it was by God's grace.
But God.
And he had opened the door. He had opened the door. And the guy, the jailer who was guarding him said, well, why didn't you leave? And look, I'm supposed to be here right now.
I'm good.
I'm in my place.
I'm good.
See, if we get into the place where we know where we're supposed to be, then we win.
Right.
Because we're not depending on ourselves. We're dependent on God.
Content.
Be yet content, therefore, in the state they were in. Absolutely. Content. This girl got me back in the church. Lord.
Yeah.
Content. When it's in your sin. So the COVID was a blessing because there was a lot of things that we wouldn't do on our own.
Right.
God said, you know what? I know y'all listen, y'all gonna keep going through the same hustle and bustle, and I need to change the course of this world. And
what brings about change? Discomfort, huh?
Absolutely.
Discomfort.
Complete discomfort. We started doing things that we never done before. I planted a garden. What?
Farmer Ebb?
You know what I'm saying? And I beautiful garden. I was back there every day talking to my veggies and talking to my stuff and walking out with a grounding.
Farmer in the bill.
Farmer in the bill. Yeah, man.
Or the cherry or the farmer in the bill.
And I enjoyed it. And it was a hurricane that came and ruined my garden. I want to get back to it. But I said that to say, we did a whole bunch of things that we didn't have a clue that we were going to do. And we had the opportunity. So it wasn't just me, but it was everybody.
Everybody.
And that's why there's so many jobs now. Everybody's hiring because other people are like, no, I'm starting my business. I started my business or I'm doing this and I'm doing that,
But I need them to work.
Well, I
need work.
Yeah, you need workers, but I'm just
work. Please, please help us out.
But the overall lesson for the people of the world was we got an opportunity to do something that we never would have done on our own. So, which gave us a taste of what it could.
Right.
It gave people that were not entrepreneurial a taste of what it would be like.
Right.
Everything wasn't good.
Right.
Everything wasn't bad. Some people became millionaires.
Right.
I know a few. Right from a railroad. Became a million. I mean, I ain't talking about no small million. I ain't talking about 1 million. I'm talking multiples. Ridiculous. And if without COVID, it would have never happened.
Right.
So that leads me back to being diligent and being content.
Right.
And where we are, and thank God for it, because now we do have DBA, because DBA is not only a business servicing. Man, I say we, because I'm a part of DBA. I just don't have my uniform.
Yes.
I have a uniform shirt.
Yes.
She just ain't ever get me none. Anyway.
You want to work fries?
No. I'm gonna be on the grill. Folk on the press. You don't know nothing about it. That was my first job at Wendy's. On the go. Yeah. I was on that grill. I was happy when I got to the grill. Anyway, it also has events.
Yes.
And
community events,
and it provides opportunity for business growth.
Yes.
With the multitude of pop-ups that's been
Yeah.
People literally come in DBA
Mm-hmm.
and make money.
Yes.
I ain't talking. Listen, I'm not talking about her or DBA. I'm talking about they come in, put on a pop-up, and the people that's in there with the pop-up, everybody makes money. It's a beautiful event because uh you find sometimes it's kind of funny to me, especially the first one where people will kind of be at their own booths and
minding their own business,
and nobody's seeing that. But by the end of the day, everybody get up and go shop with each other, and it's absolutely amazing. I mean, phenomenal. But without, and I'm not saying it's the only place for a pop-up, but without that, there you go. Hey, there we are. Best place. But what I'm saying is that it provided, without DBA being where it is and being in the time that it's in, where would things be?
Right.
I just find that your story and your journey is in every facet has been a blessing for somebody else.
Absolutely.
Every single thing that God placed on you from the age of 21 has been something to give to other people.
He told me a couple of years ago, it's bigger than you.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
It's bigger than you.
Yeah, that's good.
And then he showed me that it was bigger than me. I mean, not just the businesses, but just the opportunities, that have opened up. The blessings that have flowed so that I could be a blessing to others.
Right.
Right.
And that's not just the family, because I know I highlighted the family, but I'm talking about all around.
Right.
And when I say that, I'm talking to the people. I'm talking all around because I mean I know because this is, and I used to say like my sister for something. This is my sister. I mean after 35 plus years or whatever. It's like we really, really, really that close. So that is commendable. That is phenomenal because you have put so many people on. And I say you with the focus being on the blessing that God has given you.
Yes.
And the hand that God has dealt. Because listen to me, at 21, me, no shot.
Right.
No shot. No shot. I'm gonna tell you, it wasn't until 35.
Right.
35, and that was just wait, I ain't even 35 yet. Anyway.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
But you had to think about it. Even at 21, I was dealing with a family member with mental illness at the same time. He was diagnosed.
Yeah.
By the time I was 23.
Come on.
And had to watch him go through that at 23.
Yeah.
So not only businesses and new marriage and 8-month-old child and things like that. Watching somebody deal with mental illness right before my eyes.
And shout out to Baron, BB. That's the 8-month-old child. My nephew.
Baby boy.
He out here singing to people for their birthdays. I saw him on that thing. Yeah, I see you, BB. Then you got Brenton, man. Shout out to my other nephew, Brenton. Love these kids. Great kids. They've been parented by a great woman.
I appreciate that.
You did.
With the village.
You heard me?
You could call them. You could call them and tell them.
Yeah. I ain't telling
you. You can talk to them about, yeah.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to mention it. I'm going to send them a text. So, with all that you are and have been to people, it's very, very commendable.
I appreciate that.
To me, it's beyond commendable because not many people have that in their hearts. And for you to do what you've done, it had to be a matter of heart.
Yeah.
It just wasn't about, I'm going to do this for shine. It was actually not just, it was never about, because most folks don't even have a clue.
No shine.
And listen, I'm sure that there are things that I don't have.
Right.
Very sure. And that's what's commendable to me and that you keep grinding. Like you get up, hit the job, and you have to orchestrate and manage every single one of these companies.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
Day in, day out.
Day in.
24/7. 24/7.
And I'm glad you said that, because this is what I want to highlight. Not just that. I remember getting a call. I don't even know. I guess Mika called you when Tavon got killed. When my boy was killed.
I was actually at the office.
Yeah.
I was at the office working up my COVID plan for my employees to implement.
Gotcha.
And she called me. And I was there in 2 minutes.
Yeah. And that's
2
why.
2 minutes, literally.
And that's why I bring that up, because it's not just about your business, but I feel like I am your business. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And it was like, phew, I'm there. And there was just some people that, even after, that never showed up.
Right.
And that I never talked to, never said nothing. You know what I'm saying? And so,
I got you.
Word up, son. Word up, son.
I got you.
So, that is so appreciative, and not just for me, but for everything that you do in this community for the people.
It's a given.
Word up, son.
It's a given.
Yeah.
I am blessed to be a blessing.
And that's how you stay blessed.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you stay blessed. So, you got anything you want to tell these people before you go?
DBA Business Center, 4657 West Bank Expressway, Marrero, right around the corner from Philly's Steakhouse.
This girl went into a commercial.
Your premier business concierge, offering document shipping and business services, including event space and co-working space.
Word up, son. You did that?
Yes.
You did. That's when you know who you is.
Yes.
She is who she
I
is.
am.
Word up, son.
Mm-hmm. She is.
But she is, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You sound like them kids. And is.
That's where I get that from.
Right. So I appreciate you so much. I love you.
I love you too, brother.
And I'm so thankful for you coming in.
Absolutely.
Because I think I called her today. I called you today to come on. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I said, you need to come on today.
Mm-hmm.
And she came. You dig? We up in
it. All this lights and cameras.
Yeah. Action. Look, action.
I'm behind the scenes.
Word up. Mm-hmm. And with y'all can see all this beautiful artwork we got in front of us. Y'all gonna see all of that stuff really, really soon.
Give me that Maya. Give me that Maya.
Oh, Lord.
Give me that Maya.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for being on today. And we are done with the EGMJ Journey podcast. This episode with much, much more to come. And remember what I said. I put my stake, my claim on being out in this community. You can mark words. You can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to be out here. And like I always say to you guys, keep your deuces cricket. Peace.